What is your vision for the future of the crypto market from the legal perspective? It will be fully regulated and it will more looks like a traditional finances, or it will have...
That's the great, that you touched on that before. So that's the challenge. Remember why I went into this area of law. I went into this area of law because of the ability for crypto and blockchain to reform and improve the application of law. Okay, now we're kind of talking about the reverse. We're talking about law being applied, traditional law being applied to crypto. It kind of loses a little bit of its magic when you do that. The promise of crypto and blockchain was decentralization. No one being in charge.
Nobody care. I think nobody care about decentralization anymore. From the retail perspective, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's a little sad. Take Bitcoin, for example, because I'm sort of the Bitcoin guy. It's supposed to be a peer-to-peer digital cash, right? That's the subtitle of Satoshi's white paper. Yeah. Well, certainly peer-to-peer, but a lot of it's being held on exchanges. Are we using it for cash? You can, but it's rare. Usually no one's doing their transactions in Bitcoin. They might buy real estate in Bitcoin because there's enough. We always talk about how much Bitcoin is in dollars. We never say how much dollars are in Bitcoin. So
I like this. Yeah.
The perception hasn't switched. We were hoping it would. And people say Bitcoin fluctuates. We're like, no, Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. It's the dollar that's fluctuating. Well, I understand that point, but that's not really in real life how people are thinking. So what Bitcoin has become is one of its functions. It's become a store of value. It's become an investment vehicle. And it's become something that the national reserves are going to hold in different institutions. I'm glad it's doing that, but did it really fulfill its promise of becoming a global currency? No. And now we have what I would call the threat of central bank digital currencies. Again, I'm using the word threat intentionally, where all that idea of decentralization and privacy and self-control and sovereignty and being your own bank it's a complete opposite of that. I hope that our existing industries and processes will benefit from the application of blockchain technology in the ways I described, the diamonds, the pharmaceuticals, the land, everything else. I hope that real world asset tokenization will lead to more liquid and effective markets and the ability to hold things in small amounts and open up these markets to everyone else. I hope that the application of law and processes will become a bit more streamlined because of these. And I hope, I'm using that word carefully and intentionally, I hope that DAOs become a stronger thing. Part of the reason I guess why I become a tech lawyer in general is I realize there's not just one answer. I always knew this, right? Intellectually, now I really feel it. There's not just one answer. You have to keep on fighting everywhere for growth and for freedom. You can't just go, oh, Bitcoin, oh, blockchain, oh, crypto, we're all free, we're all sovereign. No, it's not that now. In this world of AI, and surveillance and everything else, you need to fight hard. And it's funny, I'm saying this in the UAE, but there's actually a lot of freedom here in a way. You need to push hard for freedom and for success. It's not just enough to be free, you need to be successful and free. I think we're gonna get more regulated, but hopefully the UAE and especially Bahrain will continue with intelligent regulation so that they support the growth of the market and eventually more and more assets move into the crypto economy.
What do you think, how does all the things with regulation will affect the crypto in the long term, maybe in the midterm, in a year or two?
So there's different layers to this. The bandit or the pirate enemy did have some enjoyment of crypto when it was less regulated. Okay, it was kind of fun when, it was like no one knew what it was and you could do what you wanted and all this stuff. Of course that was fun. Back in 2014, when I switched into this area of law, we can talk about that. I both appreciated that side of it and I also knew that that would end. And there was always this push or question about, will crypto go mainstream? That's always the question. And then there was a question that people should have asked, and some people did, which is, should crypto go mainstream? Right, because will it is different from should it. Should it is a different question. If crypto is a tool of freedom and autonomy and privacy, should it go mainstream? What is the definition of mainstream? Well, I think it's a little bit in the eye of the beholder. You could say fully legal, fully regulated, fully subject to license. Okay, engaging in it is clear that if you do it the right way, you won't go to jail. Let me put it in a positive way. If it's regulated, part of regulation, regulation isn't criminal law. Okay, if something's a crime, you go to jail. When something's regulated, when it's done right, it says when you do it this way, not only do you not go to jail, but you can get a license. You can get additional privileges from doing it this way. For example, if you get your drug qualified in the US with the FDA, now you can sell your drug. Regulation, when done right, can enable things. They can protect consumers. They can protect the banking system or forever. Mainstream could be when you have banks or a securities firm able to hold crypto on behalf of their clients and engage in trading activity for that. Because when you do that, you open up to a whole bunch of people that aren't, everyone keeps on saying, when they're a certain age, you need to learn crypto, and if you don't, you're behind. Well, grandma is never gonna learn crypto. Or if she does, she's the super grandma. But there's ways of mainstream is to make it broadly adopted in a societally accepted manner. Let's say not a niche play. I recognize the romance and attraction of having markets where no one's watching and kind of doing your thing and being that nomadic person. And I think there's a place for that. I don't want everything under control. I probably feel more sympathy for the romance of it than most lawyers, and we'll go into why. But if you really want the benefits of blockchain and crypto to be broadly available at scale, you have to make peace with the governments and regulators, at least for now. So that's what I mean.
Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to watch a full episode and also check the links in the description below.